this is such a random story, but at one point, Beyonce offered to invest, which I was like,
Excuse me?
yeah.
One more time. Hello?
Yeah.
What?
You sweet sugar, shining bright.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Undefinable and AAGC's Originals podcast. My name is Kara. I am so happy to have all of you back with us. This is a podcast where we just talk to some really amazing people who are trendsetters, experts, and just people who have been living life in a way that we admire. And we ask them, how they're figuring it all out. This is a guide to living your undefinable life. So I just took a long breath because I didn't even know how to explain how excited I am for this guest. Okay, this guest is a dear friend of AAGC. I would also consider her a dear friend of mine. She is a woman that I admire so incredibly much. And she started a brand that basically redefined how people think about clean beauty. I am talking about Tower 28, okay? I have all of her products. I am absolutely obsessed with Tower 28. I literally cannot speak enough about the hypochlorous SOS spray. I have it in my bag when I go work out. I have it when I'm like on set. I spray it first thing in the morning and as my first step of my skincare routine right before I go to bed. So I am a believer. We have the founder and CEO, Amy Liu, here, and we're very excited to talk to her today. So let's bring Amy on. Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for joining us on Undefinable.
Thank you so much for having me.
Literally so thrilled you're here.
Yay.
I mean, I said it a little bit in your bio, but obviously CEO, founder of Tower 28, but you're also a mom, you're an investor, you're a mentor. It's all the things.
Yeah,
It's
thank
all the
you.
things. I also know, aren't you currently in the middle of launching a product right now?
We just launched our new
The
lip plumper,
plumping?
which is, we call it all plump, no pain, because we literally made it so all of our products are made for sensitive skin. And so
Mhm.
we literally borrowed from actually the personal lubricant world. And we ended up using something that is almost like a vibration instead of being a literal irritation or pain.
Oh, interesting. And it has the same effect as
It
a
has
lot
the
of
same
these
effect
other.
in terms of plumping,
Mhm.
but it doesn't have the irritation. So typically lip plumpers are made using a lot of essential oils
Mhm.
that work to to circulate blood flow.
Oh,
And it
interesting.
literally quite irritates your skin and that's why you kind of get that red ring sometimes when you wear
Right.
lip plumpers.
Right.
But this one is safe for sensitive skin.
Just out here solving all the
Yeah.
issues, literally making solutions. I
Yeah.
love it.
We're
Oh
trying.
my gosh. Okay, so for some of our listeners who don't know the origin story of Tower 28, would you mind just going into it a little bit about the name, all the things?
Yeah, sure. So Tower 28 is actually a real lifeguard tower. It's at the intersection of Santa Monica and Venice. I've lived on the west side of LA for a very long time, ever since college. And really the idea there was I wanted to make a brand that was safe for sensitive skin. We like to say we're a safe space.
Mhm.
And I always thought of the beach as this place where everybody got to enjoy a clean and healthy lifestyle. And
Mm.
so you can go, the Tower 28 is a real lifeguard tower, and that was really where I was going to meet my friends. And the true story is I got a text one day from a friend who was like, "We're all going to the beach, meet me at Tower 28." And I was like, "Wait, is that it?" Like, the beach is this place that you see every single kind of person, age, culture, socioeconomics, you see everybody. But it's also like everybody, especially in LA, I think there's so much access to this clean and healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I really wanted that sense of aspiration in the brand where I
Mhm.
just didn't see that kind of bottled and captured before.
Yeah.
And specifically for someone like me who's had eczema my entire adult life,
Mhm.
I wanted products that were like fun and aspirational, that worked really well, but also great for my skin.
Do you and your friends still go to Tower 28?
So I've
Like,
lived
that's
literally up and
so
down the
crazy.
coast.
Uh-huh.
Meaning I was living in Santa Monica, which is close to Tower 28. Then
Mhm.
I moved to the Palisades.
Okay.
Then we had the fire. Now I live in Venice.
Yeah, you literally went north and
I've
south
just
up
gone
PCH.
up and down.
Yeah.
And it's funny, but I actually live almost like, so in Venice, the lifeguard towers are actually named after streets.
Oh,
They're
right.
not
Yes, I
named
did know that.
after,
Mhm.
they're not numbered.
Numbered.
But we live right outside of like 26 for 26 Ave. But
Oh my
but
gosh,
it's just
how
funny. I'm like a little bit off.
Yeah. You're like so close, but
So
not
close,
quite.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. I mean, the thing, I knew the story about the lifeguard tower, but I don't know if like everybody knew that. And
Yeah.
it is crazy how like one little thing, and how much joy the brand name must bring you every time
Oh, it
you
does. And I
think
think
about it.
there's like these little fun things, like even the W in the logo
Yeah.
is meant to look like a wave.
Ah.
And we
I mean, how
name,
could I? Now I see it. I
yeah, and
see it
then we
very clearly in my
name
brain.
all of the products are really inspired in terms
Mhm.
of naming by LA. Like I've lived in LA probably from the time I was like 5 years old, I've lived in LA.
Okay.
And so I really consider myself an
Mhm.
Angelino. And I like love LA. Like when people talk about, there's like the billionaire tax and everyone's talking about leaving, in the news.
Yeah.
And they're like, would you ever consider leaving? Not that I'm a billionaire, I'm quite far from that, but just the idea of it.
Yeah.
But LA's gotten so expensive,
It
right?
has. It has.
And I think ultimately your home is where your friends and family are.
Mhm.
And I think that's what LA is for me.
The support system. I feel like everything you just said, I actually connect to so strongly because I
Yeah.
also am an Angelino. And sometimes when people talk about LA, they're like, the traffic and the murder. But I'm
Yeah.
like, you guys have no idea. You will come to LA and,
And
you
you're
will fall
from
in
the
love
San
with
Gabriel Valley,
I'm from the
right?
66.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm from even east of there. I'm
Where are
from
you from?
Claremont, where the Claremont colleges
Wait,
are.
you're from
I'm from
Claremont?
the 909.
Stop. Okay, 996 go way back though.
Yeah.
We're like
Oh,
besties.
yeah. 626
Yes.
is where we went like on the weekends.
Yes. Well, because I grew up in Diamond Bar.
Oh, okay.
And
got
so
it.
half of Diamond Bar was 909 and half of it was
Yes.
66.
Yes.
So I understand.
Yes. So we have all of our shade names, for instance, for our concealer, which is,
Okay.
by the way, the #1 concealer at Sephora right now. I don't know if
Period.
you knew that.
Period. Thank you.
But all of those shade names are acronyms for places in LA. So one of them is like K-Town and IE
Mhm,
and,
mhm.
CC for like Century City or Culver City.
Yeah.
But anyway,
God,
so
I
yeah.
love that. I love that you wove Los Angeles so much into the brand of Tower 28.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, again, like I know so much of what you talk about on this
Mhm,
podcast
mhm.
is identity. And I
Yeah.
think that's very much part of my identity.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit about the Asian American identity. When you started Tower 28, and it's like, so beachy, so Californian. I know we had discussed a little bit more about
Yeah.
like, how the brand started and whether or not you were comfortable or wanted to even show who you were
Yeah, for
and
sure.
how that has like
Yeah,
changed.
so my parents immigrated from Taiwan. I was born in Minnesota because my parents were going to university there for grad school. And then from the time I was about 5 years old, I lived in LA.
Yeah.
And I grew up inland and during a time when honestly I was very much a minority.
Mhm.
And it was like me and Mitzi Chang were the only two Asians.
Not Mitzi. Shout out Mitzi Chang.
Shout me and
Shout
Mitzi Chang.
out.
Everybody wanted me to date Seiji Sakamoto. These are real names, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Because he was like the one Asian boy.
Yes,
And
of
so
course.
that
Because
was-
that's what happens. Like
Yes.
the Asians have to date the other Asians, and that's
Yes.
it. No other option.
And like it was just a different time. It was like I grew up, I graduated from high school
Yeah.
in 95. So think about that, like how different the world was in terms of like what media looked like,
Mhm.
what pop culture was like. I didn't see myself in any of
Mhm.
that. And so I think one of the things I really wanted to do with Tower 28 was to change culture,
Mhm.
really to show different types of people, but not have it be. And I think every brand, the founder is kind of somebody once told me every brand is a long shadow of its founder in terms of like the identity and what it is and what it does. And I think there's some truth to that. And I think for me, I really struggled with that because so much of our identity is beachy and it is fun, which honestly is my identity.
Yes.
That is so much of what I love and who I am. But in media, the idea of that has been so attached to like a blonde girl with blue eyes.
I mean, it's Baywatch, right?
It's Baywatch, which is
Yes.
ironically being filmed right outside of my house now. So
I mean, you know what? Shout out Shay Mitchell. She's
Yeah,
holding it down. You know what? I mean,
ironically.
yes, that is
Right.
oh
But
my
that is
gosh.
kind of what I grew up seeing is like Beverly Hills 90210. Like there wasn't an Asian girl in that.
Mhm.
There was a half Asian. But there
You
at
know,
one point.
we'll take it.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
Right. But I think
Yeah.
those were the things that I grew up seeing. And
Yeah.
especially from a branding perspective, founders are so upfront and so present in branding today. And I really was like, oh, is it going to confuse people to
Mhm.
see someone who looks like me, but then you see a brand that looks like Tower 28? And so in the beginning, I was definitely trying to take like a back seat. I was like, okay, maybe I don't need to show myself.
Mhm.
But the truth is like, this is my identity. This is
Yeah.
true for me. And so I think it is what it is.
Yeah. And I think about, I mean, was there a moment in that process where you were like, oh, okay, something needs to change. Is this a self-limiting belief? Is it what society's put on me? And now I need to just
I
like
mean,
step forward and be forward
I
facing.
think all of the above,
Yeah.
right? I think so much of it is, and I don't know if this is like, I don't know how much of this is being Asian specifically,
Mhm.
but I think we come into the world, and I think for sure for me with my parents, it was very much like, this is what it's like to be Asian.
Yeah.
You should,
Totally.
and maybe it's also the time that I was
Mhm.
growing up, but they came as immigrants,
Yeah.
and it was like, I think there's a reason why there's this model
Right.
immigrant,
The put your
model
head down, do the
minority.
work.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
put your head
Move through
down,
the
do
world
the
like that.
work.
Mhm.
Don't ask for things.
Yeah.
Be like earn it type
Yeah.
thing. Which I mean, I believe in a lot of that, but I think it's also this idea of like taking up space.
Yeah.
Was something that I wasn't as comfortable with. I was really comfortable building somebody else's story. Like I
Yeah.
always said, I was a pretty good number two. I worked for a lot of
Mm.
other founders.
Mhm.
I helped them make their dreams come true.
Yeah.
And I thought that was something I was really good at. So it was actually quite uncomfortable for me
To
to come into
step
this
into that number
position.
one position.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so my initial reaction. So when we first launched the brand, and I started doing desk sides with editors, and
Okay.
people would say like, "Oh, okay, like, but why does this matter to you? But why, like?" And I didn't even talk about myself, like,
Mm.
why is our brand 100% compliant with the National Eczema Association? And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's because I've had eczema." And
Right.
they were like, "Wait, why aren't you talking about that?"
Yeah.
And so
Your
whether
personal experience.
yeah, and they were like, and if it was like about the name and the logo, it was those were stories I was comfortable telling, but almost like from a bird's eye view, as opposed to having them really personalized or
Mhm.
being about me,
Yeah.
because I just wasn't. I'm not an influencer. I'm not a celebrity. I didn't know or think anyone would find my life interesting,
Mhm.
because really, like, I don't know. I went to college. I got jobs. I
Yeah.
worked hard. Like,
Yeah.
it's not so, I don't know, wild. But then at the
Right.
same time, it is totally wild because I don't have a platform of influence. Like, I think that if there is some inspiration in that, I hope for the listeners, it is like, it kind of doesn't matter what your background is. You can be someone who was, I don't know, a good student and worked hard and just kept trying
Yeah.
and like believed in myself at one point. But
Yeah.
I do think fear is the thing that separates those things. Like the idea that I spent so much time being like, I'm a really good number two.
Mhm.
At some point, I had to change my thinking and be like, oh, am I the number one here?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was hard for me, if I'm being honest.
I mean, the having to unlearn a lot of these things that are so like in our bodies
In
from
our
society, parents, culturally, everything, even being a woman, in this
Yeah,
world.
being a woman, and then being a woman of color, and then if you look at like, so much, and I know you're obviously an actress, but
Mhm.
like so much of where we understand culture,
Yeah.
like what our understanding is what we see in like
Yeah.
media, and like I had never seen
Mhm.
like, first of all, I had never experienced a woman being in a position of authority and power
Yeah.
in my career until I started working for female founders,
Mhm.
which was really pivotal for me. And then I think being a woman of color, you
Yeah.
just didn't see that happen.
Right. Adds on another layer.
And I do really believe you have to like see it to be it.
Yep. Absolutely. You definitely have to see it to believe it.
And
I
I
know we
think
say that
whether
all the
it's
time.
you in
Mhm.
media or women, like just changing that narrative where it's like the Asian girl isn't always just the sidekick,
Right.
smart.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
I think that makes a difference. I think seeing a woman in a position of power who's also a mom, it like makes you feel like, oh, you can do it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Amy, when is the TED Talk? It's so good. It's so good. I mean, you said so many things that I can touch on. I know it was like such a hot button phrase for so long, but like representation does matter, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're definitely going to touch on motherhood as well, but like, with your daughters and what they're seeing and the representation that they get that you didn't get, that I didn't get,
Yeah.
different levels of it,
Yeah, I really believe that.
Yes.
This is such a random story, but at one point, Beyonce offered to invest, which I was like,
Excuse me?
yeah.
One more time. Hello?
Yeah.
What? And?
And we actually had already closed the round and we said no because she basically wouldn't let us talk about it. She wouldn't let us. I was like, great, can we talk about it?
Right.
Even if she doesn't typically talk about her own investments.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was okay with her not talking about it.
Right.
But I was like, can I talk about
Right.
it? And she was like, no, like it would need to be silent. So we didn't do it.
Right.
But we were talking to her team.
Yeah.
And I was asking her team, I was like, what is it about, like, why does she keep going? Like, why does
Mhm.
she keep investing and doing these things? Like, what is, I never met her, but I was like, what is the motivation?
Yeah.
And he was like, honestly, we do it for the culture. And I thought about that and I was like, it's so true how you can change culture
Mhm.
when you are in a position of influence. And I
Yeah.
think I never felt like in my life, I never felt like I was in a position of influence. Like, how
Mhm.
many times, I don't know if you did this, but when I was younger, I was like, oh, I'm not going to vote because I live in
Oh,
California.
yeah,
I'm a,
absolutely. I
like,
still hear that, I mean, unfortunately today,
yeah,
and we have so many more resources and are so much more educated
but
now. But
totally.
still, it's like it doesn't really matter.
But
Like
we
we're in
tell ourselves
yeah.
these
Mhm.
stories where you're like, "Oh, I don't really matter."
Yeah.
So what I do doesn't make a
Right.
difference. And then honestly, I definitely didn't do it for the hope of having influence, but then all of a sudden I had this brand. I realized I had some influence and I
Mhm.
was like, "What am I going to do with it?"
Yeah.
It's like the Spider-Man quote, like with great power comes
Comes
great
great
responsibility,
responsibility.
and I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah. Oh, well, first of all, a bigger flex than saying Beyonce invested is we said no to Beyonce. Anybody? Anybody? Incredible. I mean, not
Am I going
incredible,
to get
but
in trouble for
also,
saying that? But
yeah,
yeah.
makes so much sense. I mean, it's really, I just, want to go back to a lot of the things you were just saying, just to give you your flowers, because it's
Oh,
like, it is crazy to hear about, this mindset that we have and not knowing and thinking, oh, I'm just a great number two. Suddenly you have this brand, but beyond like this brand that you've built, look at how it's exploded.
oh,
Like all of the international, like when I see it in all of like the Sephora's
oh.
and all of the community events, and like you've done such an amazing job with the
Thank
diversity and
you.
even just the marketing. Because
Yeah.
when we're talking about all the different, skin shades and like the types of
Yeah.
skin that you guys have been able to encompass, it's
Thank
amazing.
you.
So you are like making a huge stamp in this space
Oh,
and
thank
taking up the
you.
space. So
Yeah.
you're
Well,
like
and
killing it.
I do hope that for people who are listening, I think it's like super normal to have fear too.
Hmm.
And I think if there
Yeah.
is something that can be learned, it is that we can unlearn too.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
so whatever these things are that we come into the world with, or the assumptions we make about ourselves or the stories we tell,
Right.
like you can overcome them and
Yeah.
you can get to that next level. It just takes time and it takes
Hmm.
reps and it takes confidence, but you have to just do it
Yeah.
too.
Definitely.
I didn't know that this was possible. I didn't think that I could do this.
Hmm.
But like, it's like in what's one of the girls on my teams always says this, and I love it. Rosalie says, inch by inch, life's a cinch.
Oh
I think
my
it's so
gosh, that's
sweet.
so
You know what I mean?
cute.
Like maybe it's like you can't,
Yeah.
sometimes when you think about something, being like, I don't know, say someone was like, I want to have an international 9-digit brand. That feels
Yeah.
like so much,
Overwhelming when
so
it's like the big picture,
overwhelming. And you're
right?
like, I
Yeah.
can't do that. That's easy for them to say. But then
Hmm.
if you're like, oh, could I like figure out what I want to do?
Yeah.
And could I like get a job where I can be close to somebody who's doing it and
Hmm.
learn? Like those are all steps in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. And also I feel like from that I'm also gathering, the lesson of like patience. And also it's fine to kind of not know
I
where
mean,
everything's going,
I
you
mean,
know?
it's like, listen, I'm 48 at this point. It's
Ugh,
like
you look
maybe
great.
that
You look
kind.
great.
That's very
You
kind.
look great.
But I meant more like maybe this sounds like just like lessons from an older person, but like it's I just find that young people are in such a hurry.
Mhm.
And I was in such a hurry, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I was in such a hurry and I was so worried that I
Yeah.
wasn't going to be successful, that I was like just so ugh. And if I could do anything different, I just wish I would have like taken the time to like soak it in and not be so like just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I think we're always so worried about what's around the
Right.
corner.
The living in the future.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think like it takes time. Like they say that the most successful entrepreneurs are my age
Mhm.
because it does take time to build your network, to learn your lessons, like learn on someone else's dime. I think
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. So talking about investing,
Yeah.
and I mean, I love hearing that Beyonce's out here just investing.
She actually
You,
does a bit of
I
investing.
mean, it's amazing. You are also an investor,
A little,
you
not
know?
that much,
And
but
I,
yeah.
I I was just like curious, like when people pitch you to invest in something, what is something you're looking for in a founder or in a brand? Like what inspires you to
Yeah.
be like, oh, this is something I'm investing in, and maybe this one not quite yet.
My investing thesis is very
Hmm.
simple. I invest in the person.
Mm,
I think that it doesn't almost matter what the business model is. I think it almost doesn't matter what the idea is.
yeah.
I really believe in the person and that's it. like, because you'll pivot and you'll figure it out after that.
Mhm.
And I try to invest in things that I can understand. My husband just told me the other day, because I didn't remember this. He's like, you know that somebody offered to have you invest in Anthropic, right? And I
No.
was like,
Maybe you wiped that from your mind because you were like, wait,
I
what?
had
No.
like a private wealth
Really?
person. And I remember being like, what's that? I don't know anything about technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, that's what it was.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's
you
wild.
miss.
I
you
mean, but also,
miss,
how
but
could, like, what we were just saying, there's no way to look into the future.
sure.
You know?
But
Yeah.
and the truth is, like, some of it is like, I think you also vote with your dollars, right? And
Mhm.
I think that's what people do when they shop, but I also think it's what you do when you invest. Like, you vote because you want to see certain people succeed.
Yeah.
AAGC is one
Yeah.
of those things for me. Like, this is
Yes.
something I want to exist. I wish it existed for my own self, and
Mhm.
now I'm so happy that it exists for my kids.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
know you've met some of my kids, but
Mhm.
like, I just think it's so wild to me that the first time Allie gave me a shirt, I think my daughter was like maybe, I don't know, 7 years old, 8 years old, something like that. And I gave her this Asian American Girl Club shirt,
Yeah.
and she wore it to school. And I remember stopping her for a
Mhm.
second and being like, are you sure you want to wear that to school? Like,
Right. Of
because when
course.
I was a kid, I would have been petrified
Yeah,
that I
you're
would have been made
fearful.
fun of.
Exactly. You don't want to be different. You don't want to like stand out.
Totally. And
Yeah.
like, to her, that it was so like a non thing, and that she was so proud of it. I was kind of like, oh, that works out for
Oh
you.
my gosh.
And it was fine. Not only was it fine, like, she thought it was super cool, but I think that's so much of what, I hope to see in the world.
Yeah. I've heard that story before from Allie as well. And I remember the first time she told me, like, I genuinely was so moved by it because, like you, even when I was going to school, I don't think I would have the balls to do that.
No, I
Like,
think we were all
and
just trying to fit
yes,
in.
yeah, yeah,
And actually, I think as you get older, like, I think you realize the things that make you different are actually the things that make you who you are
yeah,
and
yeah.
special.
I mean, it's that like that inherent pride and the things that they don't. It's not like you said. It's not even a thing that they have to worry about. It's not even a thing that's in their conversations or vocabulary,
No,
which is a beautiful thing. Which is
such a
what all
beautiful
these things that
thing.
we're working on, whether in beauty space, entertainment space, whatever, is what like all of our universal goal. I think to make this be like that.
Totally. And by the way, like, life is hard. I
Yeah.
think if you don't work on or towards something that you believe in, or
Hmm.
that you have some real feeling around, I think it can feel a lot more like work.
Yeah.
So I think if you can do something where the what's in it for you is bigger than the cash
Yeah.
component to it, not that cash isn't real.
Hmm.
And I know, like, we talked about talking about money
Hmm.
too, but like, it's okay to want money. I
Yeah.
think there's also, like, I don't know about in your household, but like, we didn't talk about money in my family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember when I applied to college for the UCs, you had to like put down how much money your family made.
Like an
There
annual
was
like
like a
household income
yeah,
or
like a
something.
household
Yeah.
income,
Yeah.
something, maybe it's on all these, but I remember my parents I would do the entire application myself, and they would wait. That was the one thing
That
that
was
they
like
would
the
check.
last
The last thing
category,
that
and
they
then they'd
would
fill it
do.
and put it in an envelope?
Yeah, like, they didn't want me to know. Like, we didn't talk
Yeah.
about money. I didn't understand how much money they made. It was none of my business.
Yeah.
Like, it just was so taboo in my family.
Mhm, mhm. And
Um,
I actually think a lot of cultures, including Americans, can like, Americans, white Americans can I'm like Americans,
We're
we are
Americans
American.
too.
We're American. But like because I've been having these conversations with my friends actually too
yeah.
about how this idea of finance and money is so taboo in so many different
Yeah,
cultures.
I mean, and it's funny. Like, somebody
And
was
like why?
telling me the other day that they were catching up friends and catching up with new friends,
Yeah.
and they were like, "How much money do you make?" And something about that feels a little
Yeah.
gauche to me too,
Yeah.
because I don't want it to be something where it is,
Like so flippant maybe or
or like
so
so defining of a person's
Yeah.
identity, or
Yeah.
like your rank order, or
Right.
your I don't know. Like, that to me feels gross.
Right.
But if you're asking or trying to understand from a point of, like, I don't know, bettering yourself, or like understanding competitive markets, or
Mhm,
that type of
mhm.
thing, then it's a different thing to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think also this conversation is so fascinating because I do find, especially me and a lot of my female friends have been talking about this as well, whether in the same industry or not. Because I mean, in the same industry, it's a no brainer, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how much do you make an episode on this network? Like, not that I want to make more than you. It's just like now I know what the range is.
Yeah.
Like, has my range been so off?
Yeah.
And what is our worth? Like, what can we even,
Yeah.
ask for?
Totally.
Because we are allowed to ask for things and to know our worth,
Yeah,
right?
totally. And like how are you supposed to know
Like,
what?
sometimes the range is crazy. I'm like, is it like
Yes.
$5 or is it like $500? Like, I am like, it's so crazy. And it makes the person feel so disempowered,
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, if it's like the range is actually, around 20, but I'm like, okay, I'm at 5. I'm just gonna ask for 7 and I feel great. But the thing is, you had no idea you could go to 20. I'm just making up random numbers. But
making
you
up
know what I'm
numbers.
saying? Yeah.
I'm
Like,
like, by the way, minimum wage is close to 20 now. So
Yeah.
if we're talking
you're like, girl, if you're
five,
at $7,
you're in trouble.
yeah, you are not where you're supposed to be. When the company started and you had to find investors as an Asian American woman and not having had, the tools to talk about money, how was that for you?
I think the real thing that was hard for me, and now it's funny because I look back at it, I've made those investors a lot of money. So I
Yeah.
look back on it a little bit
You're
differently.
like, you're
But
welcome. Thank you so
At
much.
the time,
Yeah.
at the time when I was asking people to invest, I felt like I was asking for a donation. Do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
felt like I was asking
like
for
a
something.
favor, like a yes.
And
yeah.
it's again, as somebody who, I grew up in a home and in a culture where you grab the check, you pay.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
You-
definitely.
and I still do that, to be
Mhm.
honest with you. Let's go to lunch. I'll
Yeah.
buy you dinner. Or
No, I'm
whatever.
gonna go to the bathroom in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we already know what's happening there. Way ahead of you, Amy.
I know that. I know that move.
Yes.
I know that move. But like that's the way I
Mhm.
grew up. Was just
Yeah.
like you don't have debt. You take
Yeah.
care of yourself. You
Yeah.
don't ask anyone for anything.
Yeah.
And so asking people to invest felt incredibly vulnerable for me,
Yeah.
as opposed to feeling like I'm giving you an opportunity. I felt like I'm asking you to donate to something.
Mm.
And now I look back on it and I'm like, I try to tell like entrepreneurs all the time,
Yeah.
I'm like, you are giving someone an opportunity to be on the ride with you,
Mm.
as opposed to you're asking for a donation. Like it's
Right.
really like a disempowered place to be coming
Yes.
from. And I think it's such a hard thing to change and have nuance on, but it's really true. And it
Yeah.
does change even your feeling of taking that money. I remember
Mhm.
when I first raised money, so I raised $500,000 from friends and family,
Mhm.
and really it was friends.
Yeah.
And after I raised the money, I joined this like female founder like support group type
Mhm.
thing, and it had like she does like one individual session with each person, like a
Like a
coaching,
one-on-one?
one-on-one.
Mhm.
And I remember her saying to me, nobody's going to come and pat you on the back in a year if you haven't lost the money. And I was so afraid of spending it because I was
Mm.
so afraid to lose it.
Right.
And I thought, like, God, it was such a pivotal piece of advice for me because I was like, oh, wait, they're giving me money because they want me to try. Like, there's not, and I just was afraid to spend.
Yeah. Wow. That's very interesting.
And I do think even now, like, it's been hard for me to get used to that. I think, again, like, I grew up in a really frugal household. Like, not wasting money was a big deal. Not carrying debt was a big deal. And I take a lot of responsibility in the fact that, like, I have, 40 people on payroll
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And
That depend on you and this
that
company.
depend, and like
Yeah.
a lot of these people are the breadwinners in their families.
Mhm.
And so then you're like, okay, have to be able to, but you have to like spend money to make money too. So it's
Yeah.
just like one of those things that's hard to figure out.
Yeah. Wow, that is so fascinating. I mean, there were literally so many good droplets in there that I'm
But the
like,
relationship with money is such a weird one. I think it's
It's-
something we really inherit from our families.
absolutely. Well, I mean, going back to unlearning, right?
Yeah.
It's like some of the things I think or characteristics of it are like really great things, great lessons, great things to continue on,
Yeah,
And then there's certain things that we need to unlearn, I
totally.
suppose. Yeah. Do you see any of these lessons morphing when you are teaching your kids or hoping, like, what do you think
Ugh.
your kids moving into motherhood, if we're just
Yeah.
talking about money, being specific, that you hope they carry on these lessons?
Yeah,
or
no, totally. So
you know?
I have 3 kids. I have a 17, 15, and an 11-year-old. And I think about it a lot. I think about the fact that my kids are growing up in a really different environment than I
Yeah.
grew up in. We live on the west side of LA. They go to
Mhm.
private schools. And the thing that I try to tell them pretty often is that they're growing up with a different kind of privilege,
Mhm.
but their responsibility is to do something good with it.
Mhm.
And I really believe that. Like, even if it is like private school's expensive,
Yeah,
I'll be
it's
honest.
insane.
And to me, I'm like, okay, well, you can go to, if you're choosing to go to the private school, then you're also choosing to take advantage of all the resources and you're
Mm.
choosing to be a good student.
Yeah.
Because if you then, if not, go to the public school and do whatever, right? Like, but
Right.
you have to take advantage of the resources. It is hard. I think it's hard when you are growing up in an environment where there's a lot of like their friends will spend money in different ways than
yeah.
maybe is your values. But I
Yeah.
think the only thing you can do is you have to remember like kids watch you like a hawk. They
Mhm.
are paying attention to everything you're doing and the ways that you move. And like, so I think about that a lot. I think about it in terms of like how I spend money, how I give them access to money.
Yeah.
Like, I always think about how like, Shaq famously talks about how like I'm rich, you're not rich.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and I think we try to tell our kids pretty often.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my daughter, I was reading this book called Die with Zero.
Die
And
with zero?
have you heard of this
No,
book?
I haven't.
It's a pretty easy to understand book, but it's basically like don't like wait. Most of what happens,
Right.
most commonly, is that people save because they're worried
Mhm.
about like a rainy day, and obviously this is people who have the ability to save,
Yes.
but and the privilege too.
Mhm.
But that you wait until like for this like rainy day that never happens, and so a lot of people end up dying with more than they need. And
Yeah.
so the idea is whether you're spending it or you're giving it away, it's like wouldn't it be more useful to give the money to your kid
Mhm.
not when they're like 60,
Yes.
but give it to them when they're like trying to buy their first house
Yes.
or they're trying to like they're more in a moment of struggle.
Yeah.
Is kind of the
I've been hearing a
idea.
lot of economists talk about this as well, which makes a lot of sense and is in a lot of ways against a lot of Asian culture thinking.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's also like, when is it in Asian cultures, parents are supposed to take care of their kids, and then at some point the kids take care of the
Correct.
parents,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's this, which is very different than I think what the typical American kind of culture is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're trying to figure out all these things in real time. I'm very much in that like sandwich generation right now where it's like I have aging parents,
Yeah.
I have kids who are growing up. We have a great and thriving business, but it's not like we've sold the company, right?
Right.
So it's like we're still like in it.
Yeah.
I'm not like just despite what people might think, right? When you're in a business, you're like the money comes in, the money goes out. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So you're very much in a state of that. But I don't know. Like I just think a lot about with my own kids. I don't want them to be spoiled. I don't want them to be entitled. I do want them to know they live privileged lives.
Yeah.
And I want them to do something good with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I'm not a mother, but talking to so many of my friends who are mothers, it's so interesting. Like everybody is doing their best and figuring it out as we go, right? There
mean,
is
that's
no
all
exact
we-
rule book.
That's all we can do.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Like, I think about this as both a manager and as a parent. I think you mother
Mm-hmm.
the way that you both try to make up for the things that you didn't get.
Yeah.
And then you try to replicate the things
Yes.
that you did get.
Yeah.
But you always try to be better than you got, right? And you're not going to catch everything, but
Mhm.
you try to hopefully just do a little bit better. And I
Yeah.
think the same is true when you manage people. Like
Yeah.
you're like, well, I definitely won't write emails in all caps like my old boss Norm did. But true story.
Norm, hope you fixed that.
True story. But at the same time, I'm sure I'm making my own mistakes. But
Yeah.
so much of it is just like having some self-awareness and trying to
Yeah.
be better.
Yeah.
Kara, can we talk about the new AAGC collection?
I am freaking out. Look at this new color, the matcha
too good.
collection.
This gingham short with this quarter zip.
I mean, I'm going to be living in this.
I
This is
know.
so cute.
It is giving cottage core. It's giving tennis vibes. It's everything I love, cozy and chic.
Oh, it looks so good on you.
Thank you,
And
you too.
I'm so obsessed with the fact that it is dropping just in time for Heritage Month. I mean, this month is so special to us because it is for us to celebrate our culture, our stories, and our community with all of you. And that's also what makes wearing AGC so special.
Yes, and we love seeing all of you wear it out there. So please tag us. We get such a kick out of it.
Please tag us. And also, there's nothing better than seeing AGC out in the wild. I was getting coffee the other day, and the girl in front of me, like waiting in line, line to order a coffee had the AGC hat on.
No, it's
And you can see the brand on the back, and it
So
just made
cute.
me really happy. It made me really happy.
so cute. And the I'm from here shirt, I love this. This is like AAGC to its core.
This is the core. And
Right.
also revealing cozy kitty. Okay? If I could be embodied into a form right now, it would be this cozy kitty. Because this sweatshirt that I have on is also very cozy. COZY, cozy. Here for it. So if you are as obsessed with this matcha line like me and Jenna are, this line is available exclusively at AsianAmericanGirlClub.com. We touched on this a little bit, but this idea of having it all, right? Like this as the woman who has it all, it's like the family, the business, the marriage, the working out,
Yeah.
the being calm, staying mentally, all of these things.
You're talking about someone else, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, is it a myth? Like, we talked about it a little before too. It's like, what do you think is like something? I mean, like, what do you think about that idea? Do you think somebody can have it? A woman can have it all?
I think that so much of life is perspective.
Yeah.
And I really mean that. Like, and I'm not saying I don't have moments where things don't feel hard.
Yeah.
But then so I'm in this group called YPO, which is, have you heard of this?
Yes,
It's
I
Young
have.
Presidents
Yeah.
Organization. And we do this thing called Forum. And it's literally like 9 people. And the format of it is very simple. We go around and each person talks about what's going on in their life. Me, yourself, your friends and your family, and your business.
Okay.
And
the 3.
it's you
Anything
can say
you
whatever you want.
Mhm.
And you kind of rank it. You're like, how am I doing on a scale of 1 to 5? And every person goes around and says it. And pretty much every time, by the time they get to me, I'm like, maybe it's not so bad.
After hearing their rankings.
Because you hear other people's,
Yeah.
and everybody's going through stuff,
Yeah.
whether or not you know it. And I think there's some bit of it where it's if you spend a lot of time on social and you see everybody's like Instagram life, like you're not seeing their whole
No,
life.
that's the glamorized version of anybody's life.
And it's not the
obviously.
reality.
Yeah.
And like the truth is like, yes, we all have hardship, but at the same time, like when I hear about people with, like somebody said this to me recently and I haven't forgot it, but like if you are healthy, you have 1,000,000 problems. And if you're unhealthy, you only have one. And like the truth is like, I don't know, I'm healthy. My kids are healthy. Like
Yeah.
we're all doing okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I don't have problems,
Yeah.
but I think so much of your ability to like digest it is your attitude towards it.
Yeah.
And like it's true. It's like the number of good things that happen to you or like your ability to see them.
Mhm.
You have to have like a perspective of like positivity. And I don't mean like, I don't know, toxic positivity. I just mean like you have to do the work, but you can get through it if you can see it.
Right. Wow. Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's very, very true perspective because I mean, so many things fall by the wayside if you don't have the perspective to even see them, right? To even celebrate or be grateful. I mean, again, those are the
Totally.
positive sides of it.
And I think honestly, like this, I didn't realize that ability to have perspective is such a big part of being an entrepreneur. I thought it was like the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The functional work.
Yeah.
And now I really realize so much of it is like energetically, all those people vibe off of you, like all your employees,
And
all
comes
of
from
your
the top.
It
Everything
comes from the
trickles
top.
from the
And
top.
so
Yeah.
if you feel like, oh, I don't know if we can do it, then they feel like I don't know if we can do it.
Right.
Same in a family. Like if
Yeah.
you give your kids a feeling that like you're not sure what the boundaries are, they don't know what the boundaries are.
Mhm.
Right. And like you can have honest conversations and you can be vulnerable and say, like, hey, I don't know these things. Help me figure it out.
Yeah.
That's, I think, also leadership. Like, I don't think it has to be like, I know everything. I don't know everything.
Right.
But I think having a positive perspective
Yes.
and like hope, I guess I
Yeah.
would say,
Yeah.
that's probably the most
The
important thing.
vibes have to be right.
Yeah.
The vibes have to be right.
It's real. Like I can feel
actually,
it
yeah.
energetically.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of business and family, I know at one of our last AGC
Yeah.
events, I mean, it was like the perfect example of what you do because we had the makeup class at Tower
Yeah.
28. But you had like Charlie, your
Yeah,
daughter,
yeah.
like unboxing things. Your like dog was
yeah.
running around. Your
Yeah.
husband was there. Like it like talk like that is the work family balance. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, how involved are they?
I
What's
re-
Charlie doing right now?
Totally.
Is she
Well, she's
unpacking something?
gratefully in school. We still have a week of school
Yeah.
left, but it's so funny. Like Chriselle Lim, I remember saying this to me
Mhm.
once. She said, like, every time I see Amy, I just see her family right behind her.
Oh my gosh.
And I think it's really true. Like, I
Yeah.
really try. It's part of what makes me sane. And so when you asked me earlier about balance, I don't think there's such thing as
Mhm.
balance.
And maybe that balance, I mean, the scales are always shifting too, right?
Always.
You adjust as
And
you
there's
go for what you need.
seasons.
Yeah.
There's seasons to life. You know,
Mhm.
like when my kids were babies, it was different than it is now. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like Emma Greed's getting all this shit for being like a 3-hour mom or whatever the
Oh, yes.
byline is
Yes.
exactly. But I'm
Yeah.
like, 3 hours a day? That's a lot of time. Like, I don't think I spend 3 hours a day with my kids.
Yeah.
By the time like they scoot out in the morning, I barely see them in the morning. And then at night, by the time we hang out a little bit, get to bed, like I have dinners often. Like I'm like, but I am present when
Right.
I am with them.
Right.
So like, why are we talking about why are we clocking hours?
Yes, exactly. I was thinking about like, I mean, obviously in these like so many families where if like, because I think about my brother, you know, going to work and then he comes home, it's a normal 9 to 5
Yeah.
if it's like 5 o'clock, and my niece and nephew go to sleep at 7.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets to see them for 2 hours a day,
Yeah.
and
but
that's not. I mean, it's like
totally
pretty standard in many families.
well, and like, let's be real, people have to work.
Yeah,
You have to
like,
make an
what are-
income.
exactly.
And as you get older, by the way,
Mhm.
your kids also have like my daughter goes to school in Hancock Park.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
live in Venice.
Oh,
She
my.
commutes longer than I do.
Yeah,
And she plays sports.
I was
so
going to
it's
say
not
all the extracurriculars.
totally.
Then you
So
add
it's
on
not
the,
just me.
Mhm.
It's also like her lifestyle is
right,
one
right.
where we're like two ships passing in the night
Yeah.
too. But I still maintain, like, to me, it's not about like hours. It's about like
Yeah.
I remember when my kids were in preschool, the preschool director said something I thought that was so smart. She was saying how like with your kids, like she's like, do you ever ask your kid? So this is what she was saying. She said, with your husband,
Okay.
think about how if your husband or your partner, if you just sit on the couch with them and you watch TV because you're both in the house, how different that feels than if your husband was to say to you, do you want to go on a date? Do you want to like spend some time
Yeah.
together? Do you want to like, and it feels intentional and special.
Mhm.
And she's like, that's what kids are like. Like if
Mm.
you're spending time with them just because you're there, it feels different than if you're like, hey, you look at them and say like, do you want to go to the park right now?
Yeah.
How about just you and me? And
Mm.
sometimes you have to like name it.
Mm.
And I thought that was really true. And so much of it is just like the same story. It's like if you can be present
Yeah.
and intentional,
Yeah.
it's different than if you just happen to be sitting next to someone doom scrolling.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, that was a perfect example because we all know how that feels. Sometimes it is nice to just shut off your brain and be able to
Yeah.
coexist,
Totally.
but it does feel very different when it is
yeah.
intentional and thoughtful.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and so your family is active in the Tower 28.
I would say my family's active
Yes.
in my life. Like
Yes.
really like it is my family
Yeah.
and my work. And those I don't really have hobbies, to be honest
Right.
with you. I just like that's
you're,
it.
I mean, you're casually launching products
Yeah,
like
yeah.
left, right, and center. Like, who has the time? Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it's just so lovely, you know, in this season, how you've been able to kind of morph things together in a way because that's them, Charlie, seeing you
Yeah.
be a boss and like do your thing must be so incredibly empowering.
Well, I go back to again, like your kids are watching you.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think it is like what you role model. Like I try to really role model not just me working,
Mhm.
but that I really love it. I
Yeah.
get to do this.
Yeah.
What a privilege that this is
Mm.
the job that I get to wake up and do all the time.
Yeah.
And I try not to make it seem like I'm like, oh, I have to go on this trip.
Right.
I'm like, I get to go on a trip. Like,
Yeah.
this is awesome. And like, not act like I hate it when I'm doing it because the truth is, I actually do feel like I have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times that
And
I'm
you
doing.
look great.
Yeah.
Amy has some great suits, by the way. You do rock a monochromatic suit.
I do
Like
really.
the bright monochromatic
it's-
suit. You have
It's
some
kind
good
of
ones.
my Sasha Fierce.
Yeah,
Like
you
if I'm
look
like going
great.
on a panel or doing something, I'm like, I'm going to put on a bright color. I think we
Yes.
should all have our little things.
Yeah. Oh my. It's the monochromatic suits. I'm always like, she has a lot
I
of good
mean,
ones.
tell me if you see any more. I'm always
Yeah.
looking for one.
Here come the IG reels. I'll be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Amy, this one.
I'm going to wait
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. No, I love that. It's very, very inspiring.
Oh,
Okay. I think we're gonna move on to our next little section.
sure.
This section we're calling AGC recommends.
Okay.
So basically what we're doing is it's like, you know, I'm AGC, and if I wanted to call like up my bestie and ask for different recommendations, I'm going to be calling you today.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions and just, give me whatever answer comes to mind.
Okay.
All right. The first one is the product you actually swear by in beauty. Can be Tower 28, can be something else, whatever you want.
Let's be honest. I have to say Tower 28.
Yes.
So I was mentioning, so our SOS spray is our number one selling product. It really did save my skin. So it would be unfair to not mention that because it really did change my skin meaningfully.
I'm
from
literally
eczema.
and the small bottle is perfect for the plain.
For
I just got back from Korea.
clean,
That is
post-workout,
yes,
all
everything.
the things. But the one that I like use and I just am so happy about every day is my concealer. I don't know if you've tried our concealer.
Oh, of course I've tried your concealer.
And like I said,
actually, I think it is on my under eye right now. The concealer,
same.
Glowing.
But like the idea that it is like the number one concealer at Sephora, like compare, and that's including the fact that our product is much cheaper than the competitive.
Yeah.
And so we
very
have to sell
reasonably priced.
a lot more of it. And we also don't have a mini. So other people have a mini and they have a full size. So that's got to be my favorite. And I just love that it really like works and it helps people.
Yeah, I like the texture of it because I really
Yeah.
feel like it sinks into the skin
Well,
and it
it's
never
super
cakes on me.
hydrating.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you guys know what you're doing. That's all. And I don't even, you know what you're doing. Okay, number 2. Your go-to restaurant in LA when you and your husband go on a date night. Speaking of date night.
I feel like this is so boring, but it's true. We
What is
love
it?
Din Tai Fung still.
Shout out,
I
shout
don't
out,
know, but like on
DTF.
the West, and now that they opened the one in Santa Monica place, like it's easier to get into than the one in Century City.
Yes.
And it feels like,
And they have the cute basket
yeah,
booths.
totally. And it's
Very
like
cute.
we like sitting outside,
Yeah.
and then we like walking around and being close. Again, beach.
Right. You can never go wrong with Din Tai Fung,
It's
first
just
of all.
always reliable.
Yes.
and-
What's your order?
Okay?
Yes, say the
Very,
order. Because
very-
everybody I feel like always orders their thing.
Okay. I like the cucumbers, the crushed cucumbers.
So good,
The
always.
smashed. I really, obviously, they're your typical xiaolongbao.
Yeah.
Fine.
But do you get like the pork? Do you get the pork and crab? Like what do you get?
I like the pork.
Okay.
I don't always get the pork and crab. I don't
Okay,
know if I like
interesting.
meaningfully feel like it's different.
Yes.
I just get the regular pork.
Got it. Okay, OG.
I really like the short ribs too.
I love the short ribs.
Yeah, who doesn't like that?
People are not onto the short
Really?
ribs though. I feel like every time I take people to Din Tai Fung and they're like the short ribs, I'm like the sweet and sour short ribs, right?
Yes.
They're really good.
They're delicious. Wait, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of things
Yeah.
to say here. Okay, the chicken soup.
So good. It fall
Why
off the
is-
bone. Perfect portion.
Perfect.
Perfect portion.
I-
Always boiling hot.
Boiling.
Boiling, which is the way we love it.
Boiling.
It's so
The-
good.
The green beans.
The green beans are very good.
and the kale.
The kale.
Mhm.
I always get the cabbage. I'm a cabbage
No,
girly.
I really
don't know
like
if
that kale.
the kale.
Is very. I think they do all their vegetables
Yes,
very well.
Yeah.
And then my kids really like the. I don't know how you say it in English. The 粽子,
The
the meat one,
the meat one.
and the.
It's like an
the-
for our listen. It's like an Asian tamale for
It's
lack
an
of
Asian
a,
tamale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a Chinese
the
tamale
zongzi.
for lack of a
Yeah, I don't
better
know how to
word.
say it.
Zongzi, like
but
a rice. Yeah.
the meat one
Mhm.
and the salty and the sweet one. My daughters really like both of those. The one with the
I don't think
dosa
I've
inside.
actually ever had the sweet one.
Oh,
now
it's
I gotta
Hong
try
Do.
it. Yeah.
very
Okay.
good.
All right.
Red bean,
Strong,
red bean.
Strong answer. A lot of our order is very different. So if we were to eat together,
Oh,
you would
we
try
would try
new
different things. And the chocolate, I could keep
The
going.
chocolate
little-
mochi.
the chocolate. Yeah, the
It's
end.
very good.
Yeah.
I'm not even a dessert person, but that
Yeah,
it's the texture.
Yeah.
They do a good job.
now I'm hungry, but yes.
Great. Din Tai Fung, see you soon. Amy, Santa Monica, see you soon. Okay. Question 3 is guilty pleasure. Is it, mine is
guilty.
reality television.
Oh, my
like an
daughter
obnoxious amount.
makes me watch Love Island with her.
UK, US, or Australia?
US.
Mhm.
So that feels like a
New
little bit of a
season is coming
guilty.
out.
I know.
Get
I'm
ready.
Very, very aware. And then lately, my daughter has been not making me. I like eating it. There's a place called Little Treat. It's like Swedish candy on Abbot Kinney.
Oh.
It tastes like it's sour candy, but
Yeah.
it has like a marshmallow texture.
Oh.
So good.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That sounds
I'm
like something
blaming
that could
her,
be
but
very
really, I
addicting.
like love it.
Yeah, I also
I
love
like-
that you've blamed all of your guilty pleasures on your daughter. Just FYI.
Wait till she listens to this. She's gonna be like, "Oh my god."
She's like, whatever, mom. Like, you eat all of it. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. What are the apps on your phone you could not live without when it comes to running your business?
I mean, Slack, Zoom, and most recently Claude. I mean, Claude.
We need to talk about Claude.
Claude
is
makes
out
sense
here.
of me.
Claude is out here changing lives.
I mean, I was telling these ladies
Yeah.
earlier, I had to drive this weekend, and I also have all my mid-year reviews too.
Okay.
And I literally just sat there and I talked to Claude the whole time about like, this is what's going on with this person. These are their pros. These are the things he could work on. These are the ways that they, really meet our values, et cetera, et cetera. And I could just speak top of mind, like no filter.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, can you organize my thoughts for me?
Right.
And like say it in a way that is constructive, but actionable, all these things. And it just shoots it out.
In
And like
1 minute.
Yeah, it's so
crazy.
fast. And then, I mean, obviously you still have to think.
Yeah.
And you have to be like, do I agree, disagree? You have to
Mhm.
edit. But like, it just, for someone like me, I'm sure if I was tested, I have ADD.
Mhm.
But like, I have thoughts, but they're not always organized.
Yeah.
And so it really helps me.
Wow. I mean, by the way, I can't tell you how many women in my life, especially in like the 30s and 40s, that we've been having this conversation about ADD and ADHD.
Yeah.
And like Lisa Ling, she was one of our guests,
Oh, I
and
love
she
her.
talked about also how she was diagnosed later in life with ADD. And it's because like I think all of
many
these
them are, by
incre-
the way, telling me that I should go find it. But I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What am I going to do with this information?
Right. And then what? And then what? And then I'm just like, is it just because all of like these women who are just so freaking amazing and capable, and it's somebody described it to me where I was just like, that makes so much sense. It's like we have what is it called? Like a window open, but instead of one tab, we have like 15 tabs
Yeah.
going at any given moment,
Yeah.
and somehow we are beyond high functioning. We're like,
I think it's more
pretty
I
badass.
don't know if this is really true, but I feel
Yeah.
like it's more women, maybe because we multitask so much.
right.
But I also feel like Asian women maybe feel like they, at least previously, like feel like they have to have shit
Yeah.
together and be like super, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the idea of being ADD and also like an Asian American woman is like almost like counterintuitive,
Right. Right.
where you're not supposed to be like that. I have no
Right.
idea.
Yeah. I mean, you're just supposed to be good at this. All of it. All 15 tabs at all
Yeah.
times. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. So you're Slack. Okay. And Claude. Claude is changing lives.
Claude is changing lives, but I'm also trying to get better at it.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, I am also a very early user of Claude right now and just seeing all the things that it can do.
Yeah,
But
I'm not
more
doing anything
yeah.
agentic.
Yeah. More than anything, it is just the time that it saves, right? The time that it saves so you can spend more time
Oh, yeah.
with your family on the business. Like open up, maybe close a couple tabs. That's literally what we're asking it to do. Like just close a couple. Like,
Just a few.
that's already amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for those recommendations. I think there was a lot to get from a lot of those.
Aw.
We're going to end the episode with just our standard question that we ask all of our guests.
Yeah, tell me.
That is very in line with, undefinable and AGC. But what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self what I think we talked about at some point in this podcast, which is that your differences are the things that will actually be your superpowers. And
Yeah.
so to understand them and to lean into them, as opposed to wanting so much to just blend in and
Yeah.
be more like everybody else.
Yeah.
I wish that was something I thought about more. I mean, in small ways and in big. Like I remember being a kid and like having friends come over and being so embarrassed of what the food we were eating is, having them like I remember I would hear the garage door open and I would say to my friends, I'm like, take your shoes off, because I was too embarrassed to tell them to do it
that when they first came
beforehand.
over.
But I was so afraid my parents would see, so I'm like, take your shoes off right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so
You know?
funny. Yeah.
And they were like, what's happening?
Yeah.
You know?
They're like, where? And you're like, front door.
I was like, it's not even allowed
Yeah.
to be in the room.
Yeah.
But like, those are things that now, like, I watch my own kids and like it's so normal. They're like, take your shoes off. Like they don't even
Yeah. It's not even a
seem
thing.
embarrassed,
Yeah.
right? And these things that I feel like I spent so much time, like, I don't know, worrying about.
Yeah.
I actually just wish I was more confident
Mhm.
about who I
Yeah.
am.
But it sounds like you're passing a lot of that confidence and lessons down to your kids.
I am, but I also think that it is the time. I think like
Yeah.
we are in a real shift culturally that I
Yeah.
think you're a part of, AGC is part
Mhm.
of. Like the more that we can again like see it to be it.
I mean, being Asian is very cool.
I mean,
You know?
it is.
It's like everything from Shohei Ohtani to like K-pop to like, I mean, again, Tower 28, like
Yeah.
these brands, these things that make
I mean,
being
yeah, somebody-
Asian very cool.
Totally. But
Yeah.
it's like the first time in my life I've seen it. Like the fact that culture is changing, I think is
Yes.
so interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Amy, for being here today. It was
Thanks
such
for
a great
having
conversation, and thank you
me.
for imparting so much wisdom
So nice to chat.
and making some pretty badass products. Thank
Aw.
you.
Let's go to lunch.
Yeah, let's go. Din Tai Fung,
I'll
here we
see-
come.
I'll see.
Flicker, you and me in the mirror. Oh my God, you give me. Oh my God,
You've been listening to Undefinable, an AAGC Originals podcast brought to you by Asian American Girl Club, executive produced by Ali Maki, Tia Sam, and Kara Wang. Edited by Jacob Ho. Intro music by Gloria Kim. Thanks for listening.